Welcome to Sippin and Spillin with Syd and Mike from 3 Mississippi. Happy Friday. We made it through the week.
What's going on?
I put up Christmas lights today and finished decorating the tree.
It's considerably warmer today.
It is. It was really a lot colder this morning.
It was like 20 degrees this morning.
Well, I think it was it was pretty cold.
22.
Yeah.
It was cold.
It was cold.
But there's no wind right now.
Yeah, there's no wind chill.
And it's probably
And I'm happy
50.
because I dug out my mitten gloves. You know, these kind guys, the ones I used to wear these when I was bartending in a back window corner where you could flip them over and turn them into mittens, and then you flip them back when you need your digits. I love them.
All right.
Yeah.
On the day that she doesn't actually need gloves. She couldn't find them when she needed them.
Yeah. I knew where they were too. It just didn't register that oh yeah, I have gloves in there. I forgot I put them in a drawer.
So today I want to talk a little bit about, and here's the thing, guys. I am not going to defend myself other than to say this. I don't mind showing y'all when I screw up. I don't. I mean, you know, it would be really easy to only show the things that look good, the things that make us look good, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would be easy to do because we edit our own videos, right? But that's not real life. And, you know, all the people that are beating me up about my tractor skills, if by chance they are tractor operators who are amazing, they didn't start out that way. So, I mean, honestly, that's really all I'm going to say about that. I've got a lot to learn on that thing, and I'm not afraid to learn.
Right.
I'm also not afraid to be honest and show you guys what real life looks like. So, you know, anybody that thinks that they're just gonna buy a piece of equipment and put a load on it and go to work, I mean, okay, you can watch that YouTube channel if you want. It's out there, I'm sure.
I mean, it takes practice, and it's one of those things that I was talking about last week in a 3 Mississippi video about, you know, we're real honest with you guys. We show you our triumphs and we show you our fails, and we show you us learning stuff in between. Now, everything that we did on our little farm in California is going to be done on a bigger scale here. Everything that Mike grew, everything that we raised and processed, and you know, all the livestock and everything, it's going to be on a bigger scale here. I know some of you are, you know, maybe newer to us since the move and maybe don't realize some of the things that we have done in the past. But, you know, we do try to show you honestly, what our knowledge is, what we're still learning, what we're figuring out, when we mess up, when we win. It's just the way it is. And a lot of you were super supportive and saying things, you know, hey, you know, little tips on things that you've learned, and you know, making jokes oh, you should have seen my first time on a tractor. And I get it, you know, but he can watch 1,000,000 videos on it. He can have his buddies show him 100 times, but until you're in the seat and, you know, messing with the levers yourself, it just takes practice, just like any other thing that you're operating, any other tool, you know?
I'm going to read some comments.
Oh, boy.
I am. I've been looking forward to reading some of these comments.
Here we go.
You know, I don't respond most of the time to comments, and when I do, I'll put my name in there.
Yeah, it's usually
just so
me.
People know it's me responding, because most people know that Syd responds to almost every comment. I mean, she might miss one here or there, but she tries to respond to every comment, or at least like it or heart it, or, you know, if it doesn't require a response. But while I don't tend to respond to the comments, I read most of them. And I got a little beat up today. Those of y'all that are watching this that didn't see the video that posted on 3 Mississippi about today, today about us putting this garden bed together back here and offloading all that dirt off the truck. I was doing some learning on that tractor. Yeah. And you might want to go watch it.
It's almost like, you know what it reminds me of is, you know, when kids, you give them a computer or a tablet and they instantly know how to use it. They just have that innate sense of what buttons to push, and it takes us as older people a little bit longer to figure out how to make it do whatever. Frankie's like that with the tractor. Frankie just has this innate feather touch, knows how to make it do what she wants it to do without really having to think about it. I feel like it's
Yeah, I mean,
she's very good with the tractor.
She's got some natural abilities there that we're going to continue to groom.
Yeah.
Well, I'll start with this comment from Dan. You guys are great. Good adults raising a good little human. All the best for the three of you. Something just died.
Somebody just whacked a deer.
It sounded like it could have been on our property.
That's what I was just thinking too. But it's also hard to tell because the way things echo.
Pretty far.
Yeah.
It's the right time of day. Here's a comment from Stuart. I appreciate this, Stuart. Practice makes perfect. You should have seen my first attempts. See, I mean, look, some people,
they get it,
are willing to be honest. I mean, you know, when I talk to people around here about how I broke the tractor, they're like, dude, we've all done that. We've all done exactly what you did. You know, just some people aren't willing. They'd rather just be a keyboard warrior, you know. Kevin told me keep that tractor at a lower idle when moving the weight around. And a lot of people
commented that.
have commented to keep it at a lower idle. So I actually Googled it earlier today after seeing all these comments, and yeah, I should be keeping it at a much lower idle. I'm just wasting fuel and making it difficult to operate. But again, I'm learning. So good tip, keep it at a lower idle. Frankie's a beast.
She is. She is a beast.
Yeah.
I had somebody.
Another one about Frankie. She'll have it down in no time. Yeah. She's getting another one. Frankie's getting my favorite vote for tractor operator of the year.
Yeah. There was another one that was commenting like, why are you wasting your time making a garden?
No, I'm going to get to that one.
Oh, okay.
I definitely want to talk about that one.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah. No,
I went back and forth with that guy.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't go back and read any responses that you put on. I just read through comments.
No, I responded.
Good job, Frankie. Frankie's going to be on Survivor because of the way you're raising her. Yeah, that's cool. They also make a seed planter for deer plots. Yeah, I'm aware of that. I've looked at the drills. The seeding drills, they're expensive. We're not made of money.
Yeah.
We're doing the best we can. That's why we got a smaller tractor than a lot of people think we should have. I'm starting to wonder. But it is what it is. And I just couldn't justify the difference in the cost for the bigger tractor. Hoping that the larger jobs, lifting those heavy, you know, pallets of dirt are not the types of things we're going to be doing with this tractor. Oh, here Lee says the bigger tractor is probably not needed. That was a smaller caliber handgun. That was a kill shot. That's what that was. Yeah,
he says. I almost want to like run over there and just see if it's like on our land because it really does seem like it. But
nah,
I don't know.
See here. Mike is a cluster beep. Sometimes he'd be lost without Frankie. Well, I'm glad y'all like Frankie.
Yeah. But Frankie didn't get to be that way without, you know, Mike kind of throwing her into the deep end sometimes and making her learn.
I learned the things that I know by doing them. And Frankie has learned. Frankie is who she is becoming because she's doing things and she's helping me. I mean, that's to me, that's just part of parenting, you know. Let's see here. Slow the RPMs down. When using that loader, yep, agreed, 100%. I don't understand why the garden's so far away from the house. Animals are going to have a heyday eating all your efforts. You know, I can talk about that a little bit. It's got to do with watershed and just the way the land's laid out. This is a flat spot here. It's a really good flat spot for a garden. Trying to garden on a slope when you're doing market style gardening is a whole nother problem. And I am aware that deer can be a potential problem, and for a lot of people are, but understand that a lot of people, a lot of people do large scale market style gardens and they solve for the deer. So
right. Well, and I even responded to that comment and I was like, you know, we have 45 acres that we're planning on growing crops on and raising livestock on. It can't all be right out the back door.
Right.
Like it just can't, guys.
Right. I mean,
like there's only so much room right out that back door, and you know we have all this to plant and use, and so yeah, not everything's gonna be close to the house. It's
I'll solve for the deer.
yeah.
Let's see here, Mike. Slow the engine down. Yep. Again, Ruben. Someone needs a lot of practice. Yep. Another person. You're raising Frankie right. That's awesome. Cindy Brown. Lots of work getting done. Frankie is a tractor whisperer.
She is.
Yeah.
Man.
Somebody said if you're going to be farmers in the South, you need to trade in that 1/2 ton for a 1 ton truck. Hopefully we don't need a 1 ton truck for the kind of farming that we're going to be doing. We just should not have put that load of dirt in it. Simple as that. I mean,
Right. It was just...
That's on me.
Honestly, and it ended up, it was mostly a miscalculation. He thought they were 30-pound bags. They were 40-pound bags. It just ended up being more than we thought.
Yeah, it was a learning evolution.
Yes.
Another one, all caps this time. Herman Munster, lower that idle. Title should have said cringeworthy. Okay, that's cool. I hear you. I hear you, man. I mean, we're showing you reality.
We talked about like getting the dirt. He mentioned it. I think it was on a Sippin Spillin, like the next day or that day that we unloaded the dirt. And he talked about, it took me a minute to kind of get the forks going right, and it kind of shook the tractor a little bit, and he said, we'll show you in that video. And so I kept it in to show you guys and be honest, so they're just living their best life over there.
Yeah,
they're gonna scare all your deers off.
Well, adult rifle season opens tomorrow.
Yeah,
that could very well be somebody just sighting their rifle in. Paul says, Lordy, I read the comments below. Geez Louise, you fellers need to lighten up a bit and laugh along with these 3 fun humans. I appreciate that, Paul.
I think I pinned that comment.
Somebody said, man, you're doing great. David, thank you, David. Let's see here. Y'all better hope Frankie never leaves home, right? No kidding.
That's why we got so much land, so she can build her house.
She's quickly becoming a farmhand here. Yeah. Mr. Manic, great job. It's all a learning thing with a tractor. That LX is a perfect little tractor for what you have. And guess what? If you need bigger, they make them.
Exactly. That's kind of our thoughts, is like, we didn't want to shell out a bunch of money and buy something that was too big that we don't need. It's like, yeah, I could have a Ferrari instead of a Chevy truck, but
who's buying that?
No, I'm just saying, but I'm not going to spend the money on that because that would be stupid. So that was all the point. I mean, granted, it would still have to be a truck because I have
considered getting like an old, like a flatbed,
right?
Like a 1 ton flatbed with a transfer tank on it, so I can have like 50 gallons of diesel, and then I can carry more weight. But
I need
again,
like a flatbed trailer like we had before.
Yeah. We're just starting this operation. Give us some time. You can't do it all at once.
That's right.
I need the farm to make a little bit of money to buy some things that the farm needs to then grow, right? That's kind of the point that we're at, is we're trying to figure out, what's smart to spend and what's not. And knowing full well that we're going to have eventual needs. Some of those needs we have now, but we can work through without those things for a little while. That was Bunko in the field. I saw something out in the field stalking something, and I thought it was Bunko, but I just saw him run away.
Oh, okay.
Let's see here. Mike has no feel for hydraulic operation. Just let Frankie run the tractor. Big thumbs up. Chad Dixon, you're probably correct about that, but I'll learn. Rhett pointed out y'all should wear seatbelts so small tractors turn over easy. We do need to start putting the seatbelt on. The thing's got a rollover protection that does no good if you're not belted in when it rolls over. Hopefully we're not going to roll it over, but thank you for pointing that out. Somebody else pointed out about the tiller. I don't know if you guys noticed in that video, but the tiller was collecting some roots there. Pointed out you need to lengthen the top link so the tiller's more level, and your skids on the sides of the tiller don't build up grass in front of the skids. 100% agreed. I'll do that. Thank you. Philip, Frankie, show your dad how to operate that tractor. Yeah, I see a theme here.
Right? Yeah. Where's that one? Let's do that one last comment, and then that's probably enough.
Okay.
reading comments.
All right.
I'm
I'm looking for it.
okay.
What about Auntie Ann's comment?
Oh, yeah, butt puckering.
Holy crap, that was butt puckering.
Yeah.
Frankie showing Dad how it's done.
Yeah.
Alex says Mike wants to break the tractor again. Yep. I can see this is a learning experience for Mike. Let's see here.
I think that's it right there. That's
Here we go.
Whole string of comments.
Yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, I see you got a bunch of replies.
yeah.
Should I read all the replies too?
You can.
All right, I'll read all the replies and then I'll tell you, before all the replies happened back and forth between her and him, what my thoughts were when I initially read this comment. All right. Jersey Knife Guy. I'm sorry. I must be missing something here. I'm only on 6 acres of property and I have more work than I know what to do with. And you're wasting all that time and money on this garden strawberries. In all due respect, you guys need to get your priorities in order. Bunch of exclamation points. You guys need to seriously rethink some things. Bunch more exclamation points. Who cares about a garden? Bunch more exclamation points.
Yeah. I'm like, what are you doing on your 6 acres if you're not growing livestock and gardening?
Well, now I'm going to read Syd's responses and his responses. Oh, they had a back and forth.
Yeah.
All right, Syd responded.
I wasn't having none of it.
There are other things going on in the garden, and the garden is just as important as the livestock for putting food on the table and in the freezer on the shelf. Eventually, this farm will be able to feed us and others, but we have to build it one step at a time. Our old farm wasn't up and running in one day. It took time and money to build it up. We're simply starting over. All right, then homeboy responded. Well, he's long-winded.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm sorry. I don't think you know what's involved in living off-grid. First of all, we don't live off-grid.
Well,
It takes a small army to do what you're trying to do. Hey, army of one? You never heard of that? Okay, I'll just keep reading. Sorry. Hey, I'm all for it. I have 1 horse and 2 dogs and close to 7 acres. It takes me forever just to split my wood for the winter. The hell with all that. Very few people succeed on doing what you guys are trying to do. Stay well. Good luck. I'll be following along. And please don't take offense to this. Your nails would look 10 times better if you cut them shorter. Just saying.
Like, randomly let me critique your appearance on top of everything else.
Pretty sure this guy's going to unsubscribe by the time we get done.
Well, I don't know. I was nice, but I was firm. So you can read my response.
All right, well, let's keep going here. We've addressed this before. This is Syd's response. We've addressed this before, but we aren't, nor do we claim to be off-grid, as many others do. We raise, grow, process, and preserve much of our own food. Previously on our California farm, we had a nice little poultry business going. You don't have to like my nails or anything else about the way I look. I like them. I'm sure if given the opportunity, I could point out things about your appearance that I don't like. The most insulting thing in the world is when someone says, don't take offense or don't take it personally. But it sounds like you're new to being more self-sufficient and clearly have time to throw stones in between chopping wood. It will take time. You were mad.
I'm sorry. That boy lit me up. I was irritated. I was not having it.
It will take time for you to learn a good rhythm with getting your workload done. Don't worry. I'm sure you'll figure out how to get everything done. We're doing the same thing we've been doing for the last 7 years, just on a bigger scale and starting over. Enjoy the journey. Then he responded again.
I don't know if I've heard.
Be safe out there.
Oh, yeah, I did.
And I didn't say I didn't like your nails. I said they would look a lot better short. And I'm sure you could find plenty wrong with me. I turned 50 and everything went to hell in a basket.
I didn't
Be careful out there.
that. Yeah. So my whole thing was like, look, he's preaching like he knows off grid and whatever. And then he's like, I've got 2 dogs and a horse and I'm busy chopping wood constantly. I'm so busy. I'm like, well, what are you growing to be self-sufficient if you're off grid? Like, what is your deal, bro? That was my whole thing, was like, come at me. He's clearly like, I don't know. It just fired me up because I'm like, I know that we have people that are stumbling across us since the move, and I get that. So they haven't seen me knee deep with my hands eviscerating a chicken. They haven't seen me like doing that stuff or
shoveling shit in the pig pen.
Yeah, like they haven't seen me doing that stuff, and I don't have that stuff to do.
We don't have that stuff here yet.
So
yet.
You know, it's like, yeah, I get that if you're new, maybe you don't realize, but I'm like, don't come at me preaching to me. Especially, first of all, like we've said, we have never claimed to be off grid. We are not off grid.
We're not going to be off
We're
grid.
recording a video right now that we are going to upload to the internet. We couldn't be further from off grid if we wanted to be. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're not trying to be off grid. It's not our goal.
Yeah, and people that want to be off grid, that's fine. And people that want to pretend that they're off grid and have a channel, that's on them. But we're realistic about it. This is what we do. This is who we are. We are not trying to be off grid. We've never marketed ourselves that way. We are very much on grid homesteaders.
There will be all kinds of projects that I have planned in the future that give us the ability to be off grid if some major thing went down. Like when we build a tiny cabin on the property, it will be off grid.
Right.
You know, when I buy things, you know, meat grinder, I'm always looking for hand crank things. I'm looking for, you know, I'm always
things
looking
we can
for
use if there's no electricity. You know,
You know, of course we're preppers, so we're trying to prepare ourselves in some ways for if that were to actually happen and the grid were to go down, we would be able to work through it. You know, but we're not trying to be off grid. We're not trying to remove our main house from the grid. We're on city water here. We're on power from, you know, the local power company, and that's not ever going to change in the house.
Right.
Will we have some solar on the property at some point? Yes. Will we have an off-grid cabin on the property at some point? Yes. Will I have a well dug out here for irrigation at some point? Yes. But enough about the off-grid thing. What I was going to say to this guy, and to generally anybody in response to you're wasting all your time on that garden, is this. This place has to generate income at some point, right? And we have several, you don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? We have several plans for how we're going to generate that income. We have experience with raising poultry. We will be doing that. We are going to very, very likely get into raising sheep and lamb and for business, and then gardening. You know, gardening is going to be a huge piece of this land paying for itself in multiple ways. Not only, you know, farmers market actual revenue, but also feeding us, because money saved is money earned, right? If you're not having to go buy food, then the money that you would have spent on that food, you've now just earned, right? Again. So, you know, back to the, you know, you're wasting your time on that garden and the strawberries. Okay, you know, I wasn't going to start this garden right now. I'll give you that. But none of the work that we did here isn't work that wasn't going to be done. We were 100% going to be doing all of this in a couple of months. Bare root strawberries in quantity like that are expensive. So when somebody gave me some, and then I Googled it and I was like, oh, these are good varieties. These are going to put out a bunch of strawberries in June. They need to be planted in the fall. All of a sudden, I start doing the math. Okay, cool. I can do some work now that I was going to do later. Same amount of work, okay? And I can get a crop in the ground right now that I wasn't going to have this year. And I can now have a product that can generate revenue in late spring that I wasn't going to have. This is all a win-win. And you know what? I need experience on the tractor, so I might as well be getting experience on the tractor. So, you know, that's the route that I was going with that comment and the thought process there. You know, I'm a frugal person for the most part. We won't have to talk about those first two tractors I bought.
Comes to tractors and whiskey. That's the only time.
Right. So I'm constantly analyzing, what are we doing? What are the projects? What's the game plan? And how is it going to save money or generate revenue? And this right here is going to do both. You know, it's going to, hopefully, as long as it's successful, it's going to save money. It's going to put food in our pantry, and it's going to generate revenue. So, and I'm that farther ahead for my spring garden. It's already started. So it's a win-win for me.
Yeah, there you go. We were fired up today. We were. Mike got beat up. I got fired up. I was defending him a lot in the comments today because
you don't need to.
Because I get. Here's my deal, and I know a lot of you guys that watch Sippin and Spillin, you're not the ones that'll leave, like, you know, let's say nastier comments. And we get that, and we love you guys, and we appreciate you guys and all of your support and your helpful comments, because those are constructive. Like that helps, you know.
And there were a ton of helpful comments on that video.
Oh yeah, there were
a ton, and
right.
I appreciate them.
Yeah, 100%. But sometimes, you know, and I've you know addressed this before in various ways via comments or mentions in videos and stuff. But you know, Mike is working full time, and you know he's very capable. He has built, grown, hunted, processed. He's done a lot. The only thing he's not good with is like raising the animals. And it's not even that he's not good with it.
I don't like it.
He doesn't like it. And so he doesn't do that. And I love that. So I do that. And I suck at the garden stuff, although I have gotten some houseplants and nobody's died yet.
That's true.
So we'll see.
And even repotted them.
I did. And I added dirt. He was so proud of me. But we'll see if they live. My track record is usually like 8 months and then they die.
But you know, give it a year, guys, out here. You know, after a year, you're going to see her in the garden helping me, because I'm going to be harvesting a whole row of something, and it takes more people.
Yeah.
You're going to see, you know, me helping her with some poultry business. You're going to see her shoveling shit. You know, we're sitting on a 45 acre blank slate, and we're trying to fill that slate. You know, and you know, Rome was not built in a day.
Yeah, it takes time. Anyway, we love you guys. We hope you have a fabulous weekend. I know next week is a big week with Thanksgiving, so we will probably not do a Sippin and Spillin on Thanksgiving Day. We'll see.
Good point.
So our schedule next week might be a little bit different because of that, but we will see what happens. Also with Mike's work schedule, I'm not sure exactly what days he's off and all that. But anyway, we love you guys. We thank you, and we will see you next week.